I'm Taylor, and this is Coy, and this is our son Thane, and we are the Johnsons. The whole reason we were in Omaha was because we gave birth to our twins, and they came at 22 weeks, so they were quite a bit early. So being between the hospital and Ronald McDonald, it was really nice for us since Omaha isn't close to where we live.
Ronald McDonald was nice. It made it so we didn't have to get hotel rooms, and it made it easy and affordable that way I didn't have to go back to work and then have Taylor stay at the hospital by herself.
So when he was born, before he was born, we were at 3 different hospitals. And the first hospital said it was going to be a 1% chance that both of the boys make it. In the second hospital, it went up to 5%. And then when we got to Omaha, it was about 30%, which still aren't that great of odds, but it was better than 1%. So when he was born, I was in labor for 8 minutes. And he was teeny tiny, but they were able to intubate him really quick, they said. And
yeah, he was 14 ounces, and he was probably the size of my hand. And it was kind of hard to see something that small. It's just, you didn't know what to do, and you didn't know what you could touch or how close you could be. And
so they had to have 3 people reposition Coulter and push him back in for me to start over. And just because of how tiny they are, nothing's mature enough. It's not ready for the outside world quite yet. So all of that pressure and moving, it gave him a lot of bruising, which then caused severe brain bleeds. He had a grade 4 and a grade 3. I remember it clear as day. The nurse first came in to tell us that he was on 100% oxygen all night, which at that point, Thane was on 21% oxygen, which is the oxygen we breathe. And since he was born first, it's kind of like him and Coulter switched paths. So to see him doing so well was just mind-blowing. But then to see the baby that had the highest potential to make it not doing so well, I think that also really shifted everything for me. So when the nurse came in to tell us that they had to bag him sometimes during the night, I was just a mess. So then I guess everything after that was just kind of like slow motion.
It was kind of like an out-of-body experience.
And then the doctor came in and he sat down on the bed with us and just told us that if we wanted him to have the pain-free life that we wanted, it would probably be time for us to just go be with him. And we thought, what better way to go than to have us as a family there together, I guess.
We were down there the day that Coulter had passed and Taylor was going to be discharged. So they were kind of scrambling to find a place to be and something affordable, and a place came open at the Ronald McDonald House, and we were very lucky.
Scheduled everything, looked around the place, and reserved a room for their stay. And it was very nice. The tour was amazing. The lady they gave us a tour, I don't remember her name, but she was very polite, and whatever Coy and Taylor needed, they were going to have for them. So it was a very good visit.
Mainly just a place to stay was the nice part, and instead of staying at the hospital.
And that's what the meals worked out really nice, because we were never there for supper time. Our schedule was Thane's schedule. So when he was up at 1 a.m., we were at the hospital at 1 a.m. So by the time we got back to Ronald McDonald, they had a leftover fridge that we could just heat up and eat there. So that way we were still getting meals. I mean, I think it's a lot like your mind. If you have 100 things going 100 miles an hour, you can't just pinpoint what to think about. So while at Ronald McDonald, when we unpacked and found a place for everything, it was kind of like, all right, well now we can kind of sit back and think about grieving our one child, or think about how we want to find hope to keep going for our other child, or just even maintaining our own relationship and going through all the things you go through while experiencing all this.
They're so young. This was This was a very challenging moment. I just, they're very strong in their faith. They relied on each other, and it was kind of a make it or break it moment, and the two of them held together really good. The important thing to them was to be close to Thane. They didn't have to drive the 2 hours back and forth every day. And I don't think they would have been able to do that if it wouldn't have been for the Ronald McDonald House.
The Ronald McDonald House was just a blessing for them. They, nobody had money or was expecting anything of us. So it was very good for him.
He is like passing everything with flying colors. Like every doctor we see, they're like, oh my gosh, he was an ex-22 weeker. One of the doctors we met in Omaha told us that one look at him, he would have guessed, that he was way older than what he was. And Chloe was like, nope, he was the 22 weeker. And he goes, that is mind blowing. When they saw us leave the NICU, they said, news crews should be here, everyone should be here. They said, this just doesn't happen. But you had a guardian angel